What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody who's watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get this video over 200 likes. If you watched week 4's video, then you know what type of weekend I had, and hopefully you had the same type of weekend because you listened. Week 4 was an amazing week, man. Me and my uncle came together, gave you guys that line during the Fantasy Locker Room podcast that we posted on Saturday morning. And that lineup ended up dropping 162, which is more than most providers provided for sale. And that was just for free. Look, if you want to join the real DFS providers, the ultimate, all right, you can go to greenlightdfs.com and sign up for the VIP lines for Sunday main slate only. All right, we will still be doing the free line for you guys because we've been absolutely killing the game. So we still will be doing that. But if you want to join the VIP lines, what we do is we give 6 lines. All right, a few will be GPP and some will be cash. But we've been having amazing weeks, man. Week 4 was absolutely amazing. Week 5 is going to be even better. We're just trying to build up, get all the way up until we get that milli. All right, this year, one of the viewers, or me at least, one of us will be winning a milli this year. All right, I'm dedicated. I'm working my ass off to try to get that milli, and that's what we're all in this for. So let's go ahead and get straight into the picks, guys. In this video, I'll be talking about my favorite picks for Week 5 NFL. I'm going to go through quarterbacks, running backs, wide receiver, tight end, every single position, and get us prepared to kill it Week 5. All right? So here we go, guys. 200 plus likes on the video. Let's go. Now, starting off at quarterback, we got Aaron Rodgers at the top of this list at 8,100. Now listen, Devante Adams is out. Randall Cobb is banged up. Ty Montgomery's banged up. What does that mean? One of the best duos in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, are going to connect very heavily in this game. Okay, one thing that Dallas has not fixed ever since Deion Sanders left, okay, it's been that long since their secondary has even been halfway decent. Okay, since Deion left. That's ages ago. Okay, their secondary has nothing to stop Jordy Nelson. It's going to be an Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson show. Vegas has Dallas winning this game. Okay, so I'm not going to fault you to stack Dak with Bryant or, Dak with Witten or something like that. Get involved with the passing game for Dallas. But I definitely love Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson in this matchup, especially if Ty Montgomery happens to miss as well, or Randall Cobb happens to miss as well. If Randall Cobb misses, remember Geronimo Allison. Even if Randall Cobb doesn't miss, Geronimo Allison for Green Bay, he's going to be very, very cheap, damn near the minimum cost, okay? And he's going to give us very good value if any of these guys miss, okay? Because Devante Adams will be missing, okay, that's going to open up for Geronimo Allison, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, I love Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson combo, so I will definitely be playing him in some. Even at 8,100, I love it. But honestly, real quick, while I'm talking about that game, Dak Prescott is 6,800. I think I just like him more for the value. You're getting over $1,000 discount for a player who is projected to win this game. And there's a slight possibility that Zeke has to deal with this suspension and might not even play. Now, he had the court hearing. They didn't come to an official judgment, but we could be hearing here soon. As I'm recording this video, haven't heard anything about it, so I'm just going to assume Zeke is going to play. Okay, even if Zeke plays, I love Dak. I like pairing Dak with Dez because nobody on that Green Bay secondary can stop Dez. Clinton Dix is the best corner they have, and he's not good enough to stop Dez. All right, what Dez struggles against is the really quick corners. The really quick corners are the ones he struggles with because he's not the fastest receiver in the league. Okay, he's not near the fastest receiver in the league. So fast cornerbacks are able to give him a little cushion because they're able to make it up last minute and knock the ball away. Okay, Clinton Dix isn't one of those corners that's just known for outstanding speed. Now, of course, he's in the NFL, so he's quick, but he's not one of the corners that Dez is going to struggle with. So I like Dez Bryant a lot matched up with Dak Prescott. I think I like Dak more than Aaron Rodgers with this discount. All right, because I see the same type of upside, okay, as I do with Aaron Rodgers on a player over 1,000 less. Okay, playing against a defense that's given up 265 passing yards a game to quarterback, damn near 2 passing touchdowns a game to quarterbacks, And Dak plays much better at home in the dome. Okay, so this is a perfect situation for Dak. He's in an amazing spot, and he's over $1,000 cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. So I love Dak. I like him more than Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson is definitely an option. I think he's a guy that might go very overlooked this week because of the matchups for Dak and Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson's got a good matchup here against the Rams. I know the Rams are only allowing 228 passing yards a game to quarterback, but Russell Wilson seems to have gotten it going the last two games. 36 against Tennessee, 29 against the Colts. Now, I understand both those secondaries aren't good secondaries, but the Rams have rejuvenated their offense. Okay? Todd Gurley is looking like a beast out there. I think the Rams are actually going to be able to score on the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks defense looked like they turned back the clock after halftime in that game last week. Okay? So if they come out looking like that Seahawks team, then I'm going to be a little worried. But Russell Wilson going against the Rams, I definitely like it, man. I mean, the Rams are allowing 2 passing touchdowns a game to quarterbacks. So once quarterbacks are able to work it into the red zone, they're able to get it into the end zone on the Rams. Okay, so they're not allowing many yards, but they're giving up those touchdowns. So Russell Wilson at 71, I like him, but I'm still on Dak for even cheaper than Russell Wilson. I like him. All right, another guy that I want to talk about. He's cheaper down here, but he's another guy I think deserves to be up in the conversation. Carson Palmer. Ever since David Johnson got hurt, Carson Palmer has been throwing an absurd amount of passes. I mean, he's passing damn near every play. Okay, one thing about Philly is they're allowing 272 passing yards a game and damn near 2 touchdowns a game to quarterbacks. Carson has been very solid over the last 3 outings, 19, 24, 20. It's because you can't go wrong when you're throwing 1 million passes a game. You're going to complete a good amount of them to make it worth it. Okay? I like Carson Palmer here with our boy Larry, even J.J. Nelson. All those guys, I like some pairings of these guys. Carson Palmer's in a great spot. He's only 5,900, and I think he ends up being in the conversation with these guys up here at the top. I think he ends up being in top 5 this week. Okay, this is a great matchup against Philly. I think they're going to go back and forth here. Arizona's defense isn't what it used to be. Okay? I mean, they're giving up touchdowns. So Carson Palmer's going to continue to have to throw. They don't have a run game to intimidate defenses and have them stack the box. You know what I'm saying? So Carson Palmer's pretty much just going to be throwing the ball all game. And he's been throwing a lot. He's a great option, guys. I definitely wanted to go give you guys that option at 5,900. I absolutely love him. Another game that could stay close, but that offensive line has really been worrying me. Eli Manning versus the Chargers. Now, Eli, the last 2 games, he's gotten 27 and 27, so he's been putting up points. He's been getting it together. But that Giants offensive line looks horrible. It looks absolutely horrible. Now, one thing about this, man, I really think Sterling Shepard is going to be a very consistent wide receiver this year. Okay, because that offensive line is so banged up, Eli is having to let go of that ball really quick. Now, Eli's always had one of the quickest releases in the NFL anyways, okay? But Sterling Shepard from the slot running those quick slants and stuff is going to be the guy who's open the quickest out of these receivers. I think Sterling Shepard gets open here for a big one. For some reason, I just feel like he gets a touchdown in this one off a quick slant. I'm predicting it now. He's going to do a quick slant across the middle, catch it, and just take it the whole way. So I'm predicting that right now. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just see it happening against the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to score on the Giants. I think this game is going to stay fairly close as well. So I like Eli Manning. Let's talk about a few other guys. I'm going to give you guys some cheaper guys that I really want to talk about. We got the Jets quarterback versus Cleveland. All right, Josh McCown. I know this sounds crazy. Guys. All right, but Cleveland is not good at all, giving up over 2 touchdowns a game to quarterbacks. All right, I know. It sounds ridiculous, but McCown's only 4,500, and he's in a good spot here. All right, he's in a very good spot here. So Josh McCown could be a good option at 45. Let's go ahead and talk about Jacoby Brissett. He got owned by Seattle second half, but he looked very good first half, and that's Seattle's defense just coming alive at home. Okay, Jacoby Brissett will be at home, and he will be going against the San Francisco defense that's been allowing damn near 2 touchdowns a game passing. Okay, And it's just a great situation for Jacoby. All right, he's going against a defense that's just not good at all. All right, Jacoby has been doing solid, man. He showed that he has that upside. Against Cleveland week 3, he got 27. That's another reason why I like Josh McCown. All right, there's nothing to say McCown can't throw like Brissett can. All right, both these guys are kind of in the same category. I know Jacoby's younger, but still. I mean, if Jacoby Brissett can drop 27 against Cleveland, Josh McCown can put up a solid performance at 4,500. I like him a lot. What else we got here? Let's talk about some other cheap guys real quick. Now, if the Miami offense can at all get it going, you would expect it to be here versus Tennessee. Tennessee is allowing 293 passing yards a game to quarterback, which is damn near worst in the league, and 2 passing touchdowns a game as well. Jay Cutler could connect a lot here to Jarvis Landry and Devante Parker. If any game he's going to get it together, you would think he would finally get it straight now. Oh, shit. Let me get back in here because my fucking shit was freezing. All right, so that's what happens when you record with an Android, guys. All right? You get a little freezing sometimes because it's bullshit. So, yeah, Jay Cutler's a great option, guys. I mean, not great, but you know the risk that comes with him. Okay, you got to understand, he's only a GPP option. Just like I said last week, I said, listen, guys, everything in my eyes is pointing towards Cam Newton getting it going here, regardless if he's missing anybody or what. I think Cam Newton gets it going here, and what happened? Cam Newton got it going and he went crazy. Now, McCaffrey didn't end up getting involved, which is nuts. Okay, McCaffrey definitely, with the way Cam Newton performed, McCaffrey should have been great. Okay, but it is what it is. It's DFS. We got to move on. Let's go ahead and go over to running backs, guys. We've touched on some cheap quarterbacks that I like, the top quarterbacks I like. Now let's talk about running backs. My favorite running back on this slate, and I have no problem with paying up for him against this matchup, 9,500, we got Le'Veon Bell. It looks like Le'Veon has shaken off the rust. He is back to the Le'Veon that we all love. Jacksonville's allowing a touchdown a game rushing. Okay, Le'Veon just dropped 37 versus Baltimore, and Jacksonville just gave up 32 to Bilal Powell. If they're giving up 32 to Powell, what do you think Le'Veon Bell can do to them? Okay, and he's at home in Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell is going to be in a damn near all of my lineups. 9,500, I realize that price is high, but he is going to be the highest scoring player on the slate. I love Le'Veon Bell here against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's secondary is solid, so I feel like Pittsburgh's going to dominate them on the ground, passing to Le'Veon or handing it off to him. I think Le'Veon's going to have a big amount of touches in this game. This is going to be a good one. All right, next up. Zeke going against Green Bay. Obviously, we still got to wait on this suspension stuff. But if Zeke does play, he's been looking good as well. 18 versus Arizona, 29 versus the Rams last week. I told you guys. Didn't I tell you? This is why you watch the videos, man. I do the research for you guys, and I make sure you guys get the right plays to put in. Ezekiel Elliott went crazy against the Rams, just like I said. And I had commenters in the comment section, obviously, like, what? He hasn't faced anybody. The Rams are really good versus the run. That obviously don't know what they're talking about. The Rams were dead last in the league versus the run, and they just proved it again to Zeke. All right, Ezekiel Elliott going against Green Bay. That's a fine matchup. I mean, Green Bay has been doing solid against running backs this year, but Devontae Freeman killed him week 2 for 24 DraftKings points, so I think Zeke can definitely get 20 to 25, if not more than that here in this matchup at 8,800. But keep an eye on that suspension stuff. All right. Next up, a guy that I think is going to go very overlooked. All right. I think this guy's going to go very overlooked because he's got a matchup against Seattle. And people still, when they look at Seattle, they think Legion of Boom, right? The problem is that's wrong. This year so far, they've been giving up some of the most yards to running backs in the league. They cannot stop the run. Listen to this. Week 1, Ty Montgomery dropped 19. Week 2, Carlos Hyde dropped 20. Week 3, DeMarco Murray dropped 22. And they even gave up 11 to Frank Gore. Okay? Todd Gurley is by far the best running back that has faced them so far this year. I think he goes absolutely nuts at 8,000. I love him. Okay? I love him. Everybody looks at Seattle like, oh, Seattle's a defense you really don't want to pick on. Now, they're not, really. Most of the time, they're not. But if you look at the numbers, Where you want to take advantage of them is on the ground. And Todd Gurley gets so involved in this offense through the air and on the ground. Todd Gurley's an amazing option here for the Rams. I love Todd Gurley at home in Los Angeles. Lock in Todd Gurley at 8,000. I love him. I even think I like him more than Ezekiel Elliott at 88. All right. Let's talk about some other guys we like. Let's go down and talk about some cheaper options. A guy I want to talk about here, Carlos Hyde. Obviously, keep updated on that. He's got a questionable tag. He dealt with some hip pain. He was talking about dealing with some hip pain. The thing with Carlos Hyde is sometimes when he gets injured, it just seems like he kind of doesn't want to play. You know, he kind of seems a little soft. That's something I've noticed with Carlos Hyde. It's like he has the smallest thing and he kind of blows it up to make it like, oh, I need to miss a few games. I can't play. You know what I'm saying? He just, even in his comments about his hip pain, he was just like, oh, it didn't really stop my production that much, but I just didn't feel the same. It's as if he's trying to start leading on that he's not going to play. So keep an eye on Carlos Hyde, but if he does play, it's a good matchup versus the Colts. Okay, Colts have been giving up 106 rushing yards a game to running back. And Carlos Hyde has touched the ball at least 15 times the last 3 games in a row. He's been a very solid cash running back, 13, 20, 24, 14. So he's a guy that you kind of know. He's got a good, solid little floor. So I like Carlos Hyde if he plays, but he's real soft. So keep an eye on that. Next up, Bilal Powell, the star of Week 4. He went absolutely nuts. I had him in a few lineups for sure. Going against Cleveland, this is an amazing matchup. They're giving up 115 rushing yards a game to running back and over a touchdown a game to running backs. Bilal just went for 32 against Jacksonville. Now, Jacksonville's run defense is not good, but neither is Cleveland's. Okay? Neither is Cleveland's. All right? They've actually done solid, but listen to the names that they've faced. Now, Week 1, Le'Veon Bell wasn't the regular Le'Veon Bell, so I'm not even going to mention his performance against them Week 1. Week 2, Terrence West dropped 12, Frank Gore got 12, and then Jeremy Hill got 3. Well, of course Jeremy Hill got 3 because Joe Mixon is getting worked into there. Okay, so all of those names, none of them match up to the type of production that Bilal Powell is going to put on them. Okay, I love Powell. If Forte ends up being out, I love him even more. He's going to be damn near in every lineup I have. So Bilal Powell, I love him at 6,200 for sure. Love it. Another guy I want to mention, another cheap option that I want to bring in. Okay, Christian McCaffrey. Detroit's kind of like Atlanta. They give up a lot of points to pass-catching running backs, and that opens up a lot for Christian McCaffrey here. The fact that he didn't do well last week, except Cam Newton got it going, okay? I would expect Cam to also get it going here against Detroit. It's a great matchup, so I don't see why he wouldn't keep it going here in Detroit, in the Dome. It's a good situation for him. And I expect him to get Christian McCaffrey involved more. I think they're going to look at the tape and be like, man, we could have done even better if we threw that ball to McCaffrey a little more. You know, we did great, but we need to involve McCaffrey more in this offense. I think he ends up getting involved heavily against Detroit. They're a team just like Atlanta, man, giving up a lot of points to pass-catching backs. So keep an eye on that. Another guy I want to talk about, and this might sound absolutely nuts, Frank Gore going against San Francisco. You know, I got to give you guys the juice, man. At 4,500, you need a guy that can put up at least 20 Draftkings points, and there's a possibility Frank Gore could do that versus San Francisco. All right, San Francisco is one of the worst in the league, giving up 137 rushing yards a game to running back and damn near 2 rushing touchdowns a game, which is absolutely horrible. They gave up 40 to Todd Gurley week 3. Now, Frank Gore's not even half of Todd Gurley. But I can see Frank Gore dropping 15 versus San Francisco here in this matchup at home in Indy. And I definitely think that he's a great option at 4,400. Mark my words. Remember I said it. All right? Let's keep going. Let's talk about some other guys. I'm going to talk about a few other guys. I told you guys about Legarrette Blount, and what did he end up doing? He had a solid performance out there, man. People were like, oh, hell no, not Legarrette Blount. Listen, I don't say the shit I say just to be saying it, all right, guys? You really need to listen, okay? If you listen, it's going to help you in DFS. I don't come on here just to talk for no reason. I come on here to help you guys succeed every week, okay? So definitely listen to the things I'm talking about. I know what I'm saying, all right? We'll touch on a few more guys real quick. I want to talk about some of these cheap guys down here. Oh, keep an eye on CJ Procise. All right, keep an eye on him, see if he's able to come back. I expect him to actually come back this week. So Procise is going to be a good option. Honestly, there's so many good options at the top, and there's good little value that there's no need to really pick from the bottom of the list here at running back. So let's go ahead and talk about receivers. All right, so here we go. My top projected receiver this week is Jordy Nelson going against Dallas. I'm just going to be honest with you at 8,100. I think he ends up being amazing. Like I said, Dallas hasn't fixed that secondary since Dion left. Okay, and that's a shit time ago. Okay, Jordy got 23 versus Cincinnati, 23 versus Chicago. He's been killing it. He's had 6 red zone targets the last 3 games, so he's getting 2 a game. That is very good. Okay, so definitely look out for Jordy Nelson to kill it at 8,100. I suggest you guys lock him in, pair him up with Aaron Rodgers, and enjoy your weekend. All right. Next up, obviously, Antonio Brown. Pretty much you just start him every week, but Jacksonville's been very good versus wide receivers. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, here's the thing. They haven't really faced anybody Antonio Brown's caliber. Week 1, they faced DeAndre Hopkins, and Hopkins was able to put up damn near 20. He got 18. Eric Decker got 6. Jeremy Maclin got 1. And Kurtz got 5. Do any of those guys sound even near Antonio Brown's caliber? No. I think Antonio Brown's a great option at 84, but I'd just prefer to go Jordy Nelson at 81. I don't know exactly if Pittsburgh's going to have to really throw that much. I think it's going to be a lot of Le'Veon. I love Le'Veon. All right? Let's talk about some more. I love Larry Fitzgerald versus Philly. Like I said, guys, if you do decide to go Carson Palmer, which I think is an amazing option, he's been throwing it up damn near every time he drops back. I think that Larry Fitzgerald has to be put in there with him. The last 2 games, Philly gave up 28 to Odell and then 21 to Keenan Allen. Larry Fitzgerald is a great receiver. He's getting up there in age, but he still has some of the best hands in the league. Larry Fitzgerald is an amazing option. Philly's been giving up damn near 200 reception yards a game to wide receiver, which is really, really bad. And they've been giving over a touchdown a game receiving as well. Larry Fitzgerald has been getting more red zone targets than Jordy Nelson. He's got 7 red zone targets the last 3 games. Larry Fitzgerald is an amazing option. Like I said, I think this game ends up being a really good one. Okay, I like the Philly side. I like Alshon Jeffrey. I like Carson Wentz. Obviously, I like the Arizona side a little more. They have the better matchup versus the Eagles than the Eagles have versus Arizona, but still, okay, I like this game in general. I've got to talk about this guy, Dez Bryant going against Green Bay, man. I told you guys. Okay, you can't go wrong playing Dak and Dez. You can't go wrong playing Rodgers and Jordy. You can't go wrong pairing those guys at all. All right, Dez Bryant is going to have the best. He has the best matchup that he's had. Last year in the playoffs, he dropped 37 versus them at home in Dallas. He is at home in Dallas going against a Green Bay team that didn't do shit to their secondary to fix it. All right, Green Bay's been allowing 180 reception yards a game to wide receiver and about a touchdown and a half to wide receiver every game. Dez plays so much better at home. He's a guy that you lock in when he's at home in a good matchup. He hasn't had a huge game so far this year. His biggest game was 18 at Denver. I think this is going to be a big one for him, man. Julio went off for 18 week 2. A.J. Green got 30 week 3. Even Kendall Wright got 15 versus them last week. Okay, Dez Bryant's going to have an amazing game here. He will get 20 plus. Make sure you put him in your lineups at 6,500. That's a fucking steal. Draftkings is out of their minds. He should be over 7,000 with this matchup. All right, next up, Devante Parker versus Tennessee is another guy I really like. He's been very solid, man. He's a good cash game wide receiver. Okay, I know this Miami offense has been struggling, but one thing that hasn't is that they fall behind nearly every game, and they got to throw a lot. And Devante Parker's getting a lot of targets from him, man. Tennessee's allowing 190 reception yards a game and about a touchdown and a half as well to wide receivers, okay? And he's been targeted 8 times in each of the last 3 games. That's a lot of targets. I love Devante Parker. I like our boy Jarvis Landry. I'm one of those type of guys, when I see an offense that's got some good little weapons on that offense do very badly one week and they have a great matchup the next, I actually try to target that, especially with them being home in Miami. Okay, I actually like that. Okay, I know it might sound crazy, but hey, in GPP, I don't mind stacking Jay Cutler with Devante Parker and Jarvis Landry. I don't mind that. That's the shit you have to do in DFS to succeed and stick out. I'm telling you, that Miami offense looked horrible last week. A lot of people will be off of them. They will be very low owned. This is the best matchup they've seen this year. Tennessee's the worst in the league versus wide receivers. Okay? So keep that in mind. GPP, remember, like I said last week about Cam Newton, telling you guys, listen, please listen to me and throw him in a GPP at least. Okay? Just like I said about Legarrette Blount, please listen to me and throw him in something at least. Listen to me. Stack up Miami. All right? Here we go. Ty Hilton versus San Francisco is a good option as well at only 6,000. I understand Andrew Luck's not there, but Brissett targets him a lot. All right, he's been targeted at least 6 times a game the last 3 games. Now, that's not the usual 10 that we see when Andrew Luck is in, but it's solid. All right, you got Ty Hilton versus San Francisco. San Francisco gave up 31 to Sammy Watkins and gave up 13 to Fitzgerald. Ty Hilton's a very quick receiver, and I don't think they have anybody on San Francisco that can keep up with him, honestly. So if you decide to go a Brissett team, obviously add Ty Hilton to that list. Real quick, I want to talk about running backs. Real quick, I just want to go back because I totally forgot him. Jaquez Rogers is now going back to being the backup. Doug Martin is back in. Do I like Doug Martin against New England? Yes. Okay, I think Doug is going to be a solid play coming back in. They might slowly bring him back, so keep that in your mind. They might slowly work him back and might not give him as many touches, but he's a good option versus New England because I think New England's going to zone in on Mike Evans. All right? So it's a good little option there. So just keep that in your mind. I love that game. I wish I was playing it on. I wish it was on the Sunday main slate, man. All right, so let's keep going. All right, another guy I like Kelvin Benjamin. I like Kelvin Benjamin a lot versus Detroit. Like I said, great matchup. Detroit's on damn near fucking worst in the league versus pass. They suck. Jarvis Landry, obviously, I love him. I do want to talk about one of my favorite plays this week. I know it might sound crazy because Patrick Peterson will be on him, but Alshon Jeffrey. All right, Alshon Jeffrey. Now, Patrick Peterson hasn't been the Peterson that we're used to seeing, man. He used to be a shutdown corner. You don't start receivers against him. But lately, he's been struggling a little bit. All right? Alshon Jeffrey gets to go against this Arizona team, and it's a good situation. Now, when I say struggling, Patrick Peterson Ty Hilton still only got 8. Dez Bryant still only got 9. Pierre Garçon still only got 7, but the thing is here is that I think this game stays close. I think they move Alshon Jeffrey around, try to get him open. I like Alshon Jeffrey. I like Aguilar. I think he's going to get the worst corner on that Arizona defense, even though that Arizona defense has got some solid, big-name corners, so they should be doing much better versus the pass than they are this year. But at the end of the day, regardless of names, you got to look at numbers, and Arizona's secondary just hasn't been as good as they have been past years. So Alshon Jeffrey, he's in a good situation. Jarvis Landry, I got to say that name again, man. Miami, guys. Jay Cutler with Devante Parker and Jarvis Landry. It sounds crazy, but listen, GPP, you can't go wrong here. All right, so remember that. All right, let's talk about a few more. I'm going to talk about a few more options. J.J. Nelson for Arizona versus Philly. I love it. Devin Funchess came out and looked amazing versus Detroit. That's another good option. John Brown against Philly as well. Like I said, I like the whole Philly offense. I'm going to mention a few other cheap guys real quick. Let me see. Nobody else really at this cheap level that I really like. Let's go ahead and touch on tight ends. All right, here we go. It's time for the tight ends, guys. None of the tight ends really stick out to me and just make me super happy this week, honestly. I like Delanie Walker. Okay, I like Delanie Walker against Miami. They are sucking against tight ends. Okay, Delanie Walker's a good option here at 47. I like him. Charles Clay going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has been doing very well versus tight ends, but they haven't seen anybody yet. Charles Clay's the best tight end they have faced all year. Okay, let's see. Okay, so my main guy I want to talk about here is right there in the middle of the screen right there. Both of them. Jason Witten and Martellus Bennett. Those are my 2 favorite tight end plays this week because they're fairly cheap, 41 and 42, and they're both going to have very good outcomes. All right, Jason Witten is going against Green Bay, which is a good situation here. Green Bay's got some solid linebackers that can cover tight ends, but still, this game in general is something you want to be involved with. And Martellus Bennett, with all this hurt that Green Bay is going through on that offense, Martellus Bennett is an amazing option versus Dallas, okay? I love Martellus Bennett. He's definitely in play for me for sure, all right? Dallas has been giving up a solid amount of points to tight ends this year. They gave up 8 to Ingram, 9 to Green, 9 to Gresham, 7 to Higbee, and none of those names match up to Martellus Bennett with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. So I love those two guys. I really want you guys to focus in on those two guys, Witten and Bennett, and maybe add in your boy Delaney Walker, okay? Zach Ertz is in a solid spot too, but the thing is Arizona used to be the team where you don't want to throw the receivers against them. You want to throw the tight end. But they've actually been solid versus the tight end the last few weeks, only allowing 1 to Witten and 5 to Kittle. Now, Kittle is nothing. Don't worry about that. But they gave up 15 to Doyle week 2, so they have it in them. And I kind of like that game a little bit. So Zach Ertz is in play for me. But with those other guys being over $2,000 cheaper, I got to go with Witten or Martellus Bennett. Those are my two favorite options at tight end. Let's go ahead and talk about defense real quick, guys, and then I'll let you go, go ahead and start setting your lines. I like the Steelers versus Jacksonville here, okay? I do like the Steelers versus Jacksonville. The Steelers are at home, okay? Jacksonville's got Blake Bortles, and anytime Blake Bortles is quarterback, you know you have that potential to get 3 interceptions and one of them pick sixed. Okay, so I can see the Steelers getting a defensive touchdown here in this one. I like them. I think the Lions are a sneaky option against Carolina. All right, they're a good little GPP option against Carolina. They've been decent this year. I mean, listen to these numbers. They've got 16 versus Arizona, 17 versus the Giants, 13 versus Atlanta, 12 versus Minnesota. Atlanta's a great offense. So for them to get 13 against them, I think they can do well versus Carolina here. I like the Lions defense at only 32. They're a good GPP lineup. And, of course, I like the Seattle Seahawks versus the Rams. I know I praised Gurley so much, and I do love Gurley. I really do. But I think the Seahawks are able to get a defensive touchdown somehow in this one, whether it's a pick six against Goff or a forced fumble on Goff. One of those, I see one of those happening here in this matchup. The Seahawks looked like they just came back to the Legion of Boom second half of that game last week. But I know I'm so high on Gurley that I'll probably go Lions and Steelers a little more, but definitely focus on the Seahawks. They're a good defensive play this week for sure. All right? And that's it, guys. Good luck, everybody. I hope you kill it. Like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can see that little option right on the top of your screen right now where you can subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Go to greenlightdfs.com to join the squad, and I'm out.